Hello, friends. It's John Klein III with episode 31 of Shadow and Flame with Magic, the podcast. And today we're going to review Marauders, the 2022 volume, issue 3. So let's get to it. Once again, thank you, Francisco, for providing the theme song to the podcast. We appreciate that. And big shout outs to my son. His school did a kids college where they got like 10 or so parents to volunteer to teach class for 45 minutes, and my topic was sharing your hobby online, where we talked about the blog, the podcast, the YouTube channel, and just pretty much had a great discussion with the young students. So shout out to them and Miss Novak for letting me take over her classroom for a little bit. um, so we are going to review Volume 2, Issue 3, that came out in August 2022. And let's read the recap page to see what we missed last issue. And the writer is Steve Orlando, artist is Eleonora Carlini, color artist Matt Mela, letter production VC's Ariana Marr, design Tom Muir, cover artist Kayla Gu, associate editor Lauren Amaro, editor Jordan D. White, and editor-in-chief C.B. Subowski. And I got the regular cover here. This is Extinction Agenda, spelled out traditionally, Part 3. Marooned in Space. Under Kate Pryde's leadership, the Marauders have set out into space to rescue the first mutants, following clues left to them in a strange Mysterium puzzle box over 2 billion years old. Those clues have led them to the Shi'ar Empire and have awoken a long-dormant Shi'ar order, the Kin Crimson. As the Shi'ar Empress, Xandra, struggles to establish her control over the secret order, the Marauders find themselves captives aboard a Shi'ar ship after a run-in with Eric the Red, who is part of the Kin Crimson. The Marauders, of course, are Kate Pryde, Aurora, Bishop, Somnus, Psylocke, Tempo, Dakin, and Cassandra Nova. So I guess what we missed last issue was the Marauders being taken prisoner, and inside cover ads for Moon Knight coming to Disney Plus. The original soundtrack is out now, and pretty good show. Well, I don't quite remember the score being um something I paid attention to, but I'm sure it's pretty good music. Shi'ar Space, and we see Eric the Red is communicating with Noble Defos, and things are going pretty well. They're doing whatever they want, and Empress Xandra is not stopping them. Uh, but they are having one issue, or two issues actually, as Deaf Bird, who is Xandra's aunt, is here, and that freak is powerless to protect Xandra. The Sidri cast Deaf Bird halfway across the universe. See Secret X-Men #1, JDY. Our wise Maestrix truly believes those nomads acted alone, as with the bounty on her aunt's head didn't come from right beside her. Deathbird is an embarrassment, an echo of our hollow bone past. Her death is a gift. The next time our half-mutant ruler sees her aunt, it will be on the slab. It is Xandra's other cursed aunt beside her. Then we see Cassandra Nova is killing a green dragon, like a giant green dragon. She's like, how noble, a dragon with a glass jaw. Piz no. Yes, noble Betel. And what's worse, I know it all. I saw it while flaying your would-be assassin years ago. The 10 Shi'ar shames. Your kin crimson, carving history as you alone think it is best. It's admirable. Sadly, when you think it's best threatens my wayward mutant children, So shall we be quick about these murders? And then we get the recap page. Upper orbit, and we see Guardian with some goons, and the Marauders are on slabs as they're being taken to a holding cell. Um, and they're all wearing face masks, I guess, to keep them, not face masks, but space helmets, I guess, to regulate their breathing. And then we see that the Marauders are knocked out, but they are able to have a hive mind situation, so they're just chit-chatting um, as they're heading to holding cells. Psylocke, Kawan, and say, "We can strategize in your dreamscape all we want. It's useless if we wake up dead, so stop dodging." And Bishop says, "Not wise to argue with Psylocke, Somnus. What's our status?" Then back to Cassandra Nova talking to Beetle. "Look after that, Beetle. It seems I've torn your evening wear." And Beetle's breathing mask is broken, so the pressure is getting to her. "Collapse under your own gravity, I'm afraid. An apt metaphor for Imperials, I should know." The dragon keeps roaring back to attack Cassandra Nova fervently, and that was well struck, my bedazzled friend. The dragon keeps trying to attack her. "Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Ready for some emotional labor?" And it looks like she just rips her hand into the dragon's chest. And the dragon goes into the black bug room and has to uh, live its greatest regret, which seems to be that it's losing its intelligence, as I guess it has a symbiote within it, and so the symbiote's eating it from within, and so it's losing its own mind. Cassandra Nova explains, "Quite so, but you brought this on yourself, Space Pony. Imagine my surprise when I dip into your head. There it was. Your wet skin, the backup for your bright, shiny, hard-skinned weapon. I read DNA, see genetic memory. I know what you did. Lobotomizing a symbiote for weaponized blood." And it's just like railing in pain. "Again, you people almost impressed me, but alas, this poor brain-dead symbiote was a mutant, and thus I must encourage your blood to eat you alive. In young Zz's name, which is ZZXZ, never let it be said that Corolla's stepmother doesn't relish her work. Speaking of which, I suppose it's best I drop in Sprite's Pirate Club." And so, Kate's trying to talk to Somnus, who's on the ground, it looks like. Oh, no, he's relaxing in a chair. "Come again?" she says. And Somnus is like, "Well, it's only been 3 minutes out there, but we're inside a Shi'ar ship, under guard. I'm sorry, Captain." And Bishop's like, "All this means is the variables have changed. Our history's on the line. We've gotten out of worse." And Dakin's like, "Sure, an old-fashioned way." And Aurora's like comforting him. "Before we lean into the blood, Aki, if you would sync up to Psylocke." Which is fun that these two are going to be on that new Alpha Flight titles coming out in August. Which I still need to talk to Kelly's Comics, because I sent an email asking to create a new pull list so I get Magic's title, Exa Realms, and then X-Men 25 going forward, so I can experience Ninja Shadowcat. But mental note for me to check in on that tomorrow. I just have to call them, but I'd rather just do email. But want anything done, you just gotta get it done. And Aurora continues, "We're still got time, and what might help, I think we'll find the best solution in a flash." Anyway, she puts her hand on Bishop's shoulder with like a spark effect, but I don't know what that will represent. And Tempo says, "Feels like my brain went bungee jumping." And Aurora continues, "That's what the helmet's for, Tempo. Lightning speed thinking. Millions of plans in a second. One winner. It starts simple like the best ideas and ends with a gamble." And then the goons are still taking the Marauders. Um, they're not impressed with any of this, what's going down. And then also they realize the primates are awake. And so they start just taking people out. Psylocke, and they're communicating telepathically, which is fun. And Psylocke's like, the old fashioned way then. And Kate's like, for a bit, everyone up. And then Tempo's destroying weapons just by touching them and making them decay faster. Then Gladiator shows up with a kaboom! Which I don't know, it just seems like a spaceship. It does not seem like a location where you should super stop into a room. Plus, it looks like, I don't know how he would have gotten much height to do that because the ceiling is right above their head. Like, if you lift your hand up, you probably would touch it. And Gladiator's like, stand down, Kraken Coins. Now is not the time. And Dakin's running at him. You'll make time. Not for you, Fosh Lupak. And Somnus, whose powers I still don't quite understand, like lifts his hands up and goes, we've got intel. The Shi'ar are hiding mutant prisoners. Talk, Gladiator. This doesn't have to be a fight. And Awora's like, that's one opinion. You defied Eric the Red. You choose to make yourselves threats. I do not answer the threats. And Tipple's like, we all answer to time, and grabs his hand and it just withers it to like a old man hand. He's like, ah. And Dakin's like, creative, not enough for the rest of these haircuts. I tapped. I had to age his arm millennia just to get to dust his fist. Then we cut back to Cassandra Nova. No matter, the adults is here, interest peaked and aggressively beheaded. I sorted the things planet side as neatly as I could. Yes, I don't know how Cassandra Nova gets back on the ship, but she sure did. Oh, not neatly enough, it seems. And it looks like she's wiping off some blood on her shoulder. Just a bit of your Red Death troops left behind. Suffice to say, lower your weapons or there will be even less of your left too. Gladiator, is it my birthday? Cassandra Nova, the great disease. Such a tone. Have you started wearing a diaper under that romper? Your affiliation with Coca-Cola is the only reason I haven't vaporized you. Intriguing. I waived any affiliation with Coca-Cola until otherwise claimed. Welcome to, allow me to welcome your charity. And now they're like fighting each other. Your strength, confidence has grown in you like a weed in my absence, but it may still be pruned. It looks like oh yeah, then we hear off screen, thank you, Gladiator. Spare my aunt. For nothing else, for me. And then Xandra's swooping in on a big red owl phoenix, it looks like it's a very pink. Oh, it must be because of Defos behind her. Defos. And she's riding an owl. And Defos is Magistrate Xandra is assuming direct command. And Xandra is like, she is, and she can speak for herself. Like, ease up, everyone. And it sounds like they're calling Gladiator Petor. So I don't know, is that his, you know, given name? Um, and Xandra updates that the two Crimson nobles fell to Cassandra, and Kate's communicating telepathically. You've killed them. We've got rules. And Cassandra thinks back. To be precise, they killed themselves. I was but a means. And Xandra jumps in telepathically. He's like, I can hear you, of course. And Kate talks out loud. Right, then comes the gamble. We've tested you, Xandra, but with cause. We are told the Shi'ar are holding the first generation of mutants. I can't let that drop. I can't see, and I can't see you know something's off here too. So I'm asking, after all our people been through, please hear us out. And Xander's like, this is an incendiary moment, Captain Pride. But she doesn't see any harm in the audience. And Cassandra Nova is explaining the situation. As I was saying, when I ruled this bird's nest in my brother's skin, the King Crimson attempted to kill me. A fumbling attack with the grace of a teenager undoing a brawl. But in that kitschy assassin's mind I found a truth hidden from the throne. The first blood spilled, the Shi'ar mutants who spilled it, and the chronicle telling the tale. And Xander interrupts. And you choose to keep that secret? Why dig up a landmine when you can leave it for the next tenants? Then Kate's talking to Bishop. Oh no, well they're all bowing, so Kate's bowing next to Bishop. Respectfully, we here on More Than Nova's word. I received a prehistoric message in my handwriting in a puzzle box that could only be made in the present. If it was your secret history, would you let anything stop you, Sandra? And Defos doesn't see a box, so it's like, where is it? Blown into space by your errand boy, respectively. And Xandra telepathically says, your vision confirmed most of this, Defos. You get a data page here. The Kin Crimson Chronicle, entry upload 1. Executor Sharaka the Red, who I don't think I've been introduced to this one. Note here and celebrate. This marks the first entry in the Kin Crimson's Great Chronicle. Here we venerate a loyal devotee to our cause, a brave Kin Crimson noble already centuries old, willing to sacrifice his own life to bind the Kin Crimson Chronicle in his undying flesh. As the Zorians, who I want to say is the Nova people, first offered up their science and instruction in culling the weaker avian traits from our biology, so too here the Chronicle's unique gifts cull weakness from our minds and our memories. Here we create a living, indestructible, unbreakable tome as an immortal receptacle of Kin Crimson record, for raw Shi'ar truth is in its unpolished form. A testament to the boars and thorns forever pruned by the Kin Crimson's actions. Kin Crimson's a awkward pair of words. Thanks to the Chronicle, the Kin would never forget what the Shi'ar cannot know. That this first record honored this noble sacrifice, the skin off his back to preserve our deeds. Here is one who knew the Shi'ar as our most blunt, and our days raiding across the stars as nothing but petty avian plunderers. You stood with us as we roved the galaxy in crude ships shielded only by the tan hides of fallen Acanti, which, as we know from the Brood saga, is the floating space cows or manatees. Beautiful songstresses of the universe. In these early times, hundreds of years from now past, the Kin was born on the battlefield. There the initial Kin witnessed the first blood spilled with their own eyes, smelled it, tasted it, and survived. It was in that blood that we were born. It can only be right then that our chronicle is to be wrapped in the blood and flesh of the one that was Kin from the start. The Chronicle will see annual uploads and will be richly refreshed with the latest joys and victories of the Kin's Secret Service. There will be pain, there will be blood, there will be memory, and these memories will be guarded and bound, made sacred with the skin of one of our first heroes. And thus, in that sacrifice, the Kin Crimson's legacy be forever preserved. And then Xander is thinking, but why have they hidden this chronicle from me? And then Delphos also is using a different narration box. It's like nobles. Oh yeah, so I don't know if she's telepathically communicating with the other Kin Crimson, but you think Xander could still pick it up, but I don't think she does. This is Delphos the Red. It is as we feared. The Magistrix's mutant blood caused her to compromise. I will do what I can, but prepare yourself. And Bishop thinks, Kate, we're ready if this goes south. And Kate thinks back. I put it in her hands. She respects the gamble. She'll make the right call. Then Nova says aloud. No, I'm sorry. Xandra says aloud. I sit alone on the throne. Our futures are burdened, and through our past may be dark. You have been our allies, Captain. You will remain so. The Shi'ar will no longer hide from our secrets. And Delphos tries to speak up, and but Xandra's already spoken. She shouts, "You must sit down!" And telepathically shuts Delphos down onto her knees. And Delphos's my thoughts are just jumbled, and are now property of the throne. You've taken one liberty too many, Delphos. Take this traitor into custody, Gladiator, and prepare my away team. Delphos could not hide this chronicle's location from me. It is not just mutant history on our line, but our own. You are Praetor. Watch out over our people while I forge ahead. The King Crimson claimed to protect our shames, but only the weak stare blinded at their mistakes. And Kate's like, hell yes. I will join our friends, and together we will unearth our past. At the crag. And so now we're in a new spaceship heading to the crag. I think it's Xandra continue talking. Every time we meet, Krakoa opens my eyes wider. You and your crew, most of all, Captain. You were bold where I was wary, but awaits us will be hard. But I was wrong to listen to my fear. Your ship will be repaired, and whatever we discover, even if it's our bond is forever broken, you will leave my care safely. And Kate states, Defos showed you our ancestors. You've seen them? Only scant details, flashes of their motives were clearly unreliable. Rumor is worthless here. We will confront the truth laid bare. And we have wronged you. If the King Crimson has held your kind, you would name the terms of reconciliation. And Tempo says, dropping out of warp, Captain Pride. And Aurora says, ready to kick over some tombstones? We get another data page. The King Crimson Chronicle, entry upload 169993, execution or executor Talon A. the Red. Let us all remember and honor the christening of the crag, for what cannot be destroyed or undone must be hidden, especially if there is further pain and sorrow to be repaid. And so, through nobles embedded in the Shi'ar oligarchy, the King Crimson has commissioned the creation of the crag, a prison like no other, to be built between a maze of dimensional doorways and trapdoors. Technology the King was able to extrapolate after intercepting a crude pan-dimensional probe. Construction began immediately, with the completion coming too soon. The first prisoners of the crag will be the first traitors to the King Crimson. Security thieves thrives on fail-safes, redundancy, and for this reason the King tolerated the emergence of the Fraternity of Raptors, a relatively young enclave with similar goals to our own, but show your means. Unified by their great purpose and connected to past, present, and future by their data song, the Raptors would have been strong allies. We consider this a boon of parallel evolution, like the race between Earth's primates and cephalopods for sustenance. Unfortunately, the fraternity has proven hopelessly held back by its youth. They lack patience, they lack insight, and they crave glory. They want to be seen. Their actions are blunt, explosive, and public. The type of fanatics that would assassinate a Majester in broad daylight. This issue is riticide, but getting caught doing it. So began our secret civil war of the Raptors, a solar revolution of blood and lightning crackling the depths of space. And in his end, through great hardship, the King Crimson stood victorious. The fraternity, of course, will be allowed to survive as a loud, useless distraction. It will live on under the guidance of its youngest Raptors, whose every memory of the King has been redacted. The fraternity's defeated leadership will live out their lives in solitary confinement on the crag, cut off from their data song and so-called great purpose. Discussions have begun about transferring the Chronicle itself, the very tomb that guards this entry, to a more secure location at the base of the crag, thus enabling extra-dimensional extraction if so required. While we've yet to reach a cosmic quorum and formally agree on this decision, the strategist in me sees no stronger course of action. I expect an omnipathic referendum soon, with a resolution to follow. The next Chronicle entry will likely be uploaded from within the safety of the crag. And then we see the crag. A bishop says, been up and down times, Xandra. Never seen a book that held prison locked down. A pan-dimensional prison, Bishop. And as for the Chronicle, I have the same concerns. Even Defos has never seen it. Well, the library is about to open. Indeed, but if I withdraw the sensitive press, I should speak first. You see some goons are like, Magistrix Xandra, welcome. The throne has not graced us in quite some time. It is our pleasure to receive you. Keep watching. And as nobles of the King Crimson, execute your sentence. Xandra's like, huh? What? No! For treason! And she gets like, zam, right through her chest. And Kate's like, Bishop, I hope you brought enough guns for everyone. Next, pan-dimensional prison break. There's an ad here for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Next is issue 4, but for us it'll be issue 6. And then issue 4 came out. Oh, the issue 4's name is Time's Up. Issue 4 companion issues were Immortal X-Men 3, Legion of X 2, Marauders 3, New Mutants 26, X-Men Red 3, X-Force 29, X-Men 12, Sabretooth 5, and Wolverine 22. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is available now. And the back cover ad is also for Lego Star Wars, so good cross promotion. Not a bad issue. I mean, I don't know where it's going. I still don't quite understand the First Blood, except for it's the original mutants, but and there's a connection with them in the ancient Shi'ar. But it's issue 3 of I believe it's going to be 12, so we're still in the beginning. There's I mean I don't know, so I'm curious to learn more. So that's positive. Um, so yeah, that was episode 31 of Shadow and Flame of Magic, the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Review, subscribe, and like, and leave a review on whatever podcast forum you listen to. That really helps the podcast grow. And you can follow the blog at shadowandflameofmagic.com. You can follow me on Twitter and uh, YouTube at Jacko SIII. You can follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at SNFWM. And thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time. All right, everyone. Bye.